You have a bottle of soy sauce in your kitchen right now. Maybe it is in the cabinet next to the stove. Maybe it is already on the counter. You grab it without thinking. You shake it over your rice. You pour it into your stir fry. You use it as a dipping sauce, and you let your kids dip into it too. You have been doing this your whole life. Your mother did it. Her mother did it. It is just soy sauce. It is just seasoning. How complicated can it possibly be? I need you to hear what happened in Britain in 2001. The UK Food Standards Agency tested 100 samples of soy sauce sold in stores across the country. What they found was so alarming that they issued an emergency alert. Not a recommendation, not a guideline, an emergency. Food safety officers contacted 40 Chinese restaurants, 15 Oriental restaurants, and 15 grocery stores. They told them to pull the products off the shelves immediately and throw them away. The word they used was deadly. The brands were selling soy sauce containing levels of cancer-causing chemicals that were in some cases 2,000 times higher than what the EU considered safe. 2,000 times. Not 2 times. Not 10 times. 2,000. And the United States looked at the same research and did nothing. No emergency alert. No mass removal from shelves. No mandatory limits on the chemicals that Britain threw away 2,000 times over legal levels. The bottles stayed on American shelves. They are still there today. And the person buying them does not know any of this because nobody told them, and the label was never required to say it. Before we get into the brands, you need to understand what is actually in chemically brewed soy sauce and why it is fundamentally different from what soy sauce is supposed to be. Real soy sauce takes months, sometimes years. You start with soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. You add a fermenting agent called koji. The koji breaks down the proteins slowly over months of controlled fermentation. Hundreds of complex flavor compounds develop naturally. The dark color comes from the fermentation. The deep savory taste comes from the fermentation. The umami that makes food taste more alive than it would without it comes from the fermentation. It is a living process. It takes time, and time costs money. So the food industry invented a shortcut. They take defatted soybean meal. They boil it with hydrochloric acid, industrial acid. They boil it at high heat for 15 to 20 hours. 3 days later, they have something that looks like soy sauce and tastes vaguely similar to soy sauce. They add corn syrup to make it sweeter. They add caramel color to make it darker. They add MSG to make it taste deeper. And they sell it to you at a fraction of the cost of real soy sauce in a bottle that looks almost identical on the shelf. The problem is what happens when you boil soybean protein in hydrochloric acid at high heat. You get 3-McP, 3-monochloropropane, 1,2-diol. It is a byproduct of the acid hydrolysis process. It forms when the acid breaks down the fat residues in the soybean protein, and it is classified by international health organizations as a possible human carcinogen. It is on California's Proposition 65 list of chemicals known to cause cancer. Animal studies found it causes kidney damage, reproductive organ failure, and tumor formation. The FAO and WHO's Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives concluded that 3-McP is an undesirable contaminant in food. The EU set strict legal limits on it. Britain pulled products with levels 2,000 times those limits off shelves with an emergency alert. The FDA has no mandatory limit for 3-McP in soy sauce sold in America. None. And the second chemical found alongside 3-McP in the most dangerous products is called 1003-DCP, 1,3-dichloropropionol. Scientists advise that it should not be present in food at any level, not at low levels, not at trace levels, at any level. The UK Food Standards Agency said its presence in soy sauce is avoidable, meaning manufacturers can choose not to produce it. They just choose the cheaper process that creates it instead. That is what you are pouring over your rice. That is what your children are dipping their food into, every single day. Now let us get into the 10 brands, from the ones that cut corners to the ones that should genuinely alarm you. And then we finish with 3 that are actually real soy sauce the way it was meant to be made. Number 10. Kroger Brewed Soy Sauce. Start here because Kroger is the largest traditional supermarket chain in America, and their store brand soy sauce is in millions of American homes. The Kroger soy sauce contains hydrolyzed soy protein as a primary ingredient. Hydrolyzed soy protein is the signature ingredient of chemically produced soy sauce. It tells you immediately that the acid hydrolysis process was used instead of traditional fermentation. The word brewed on the label is doing significant work because it implies a fermentation process that the ingredient panel reveals never happened. You cannot brew with hydrolyzed soy protein. The hydrolysis is the brewing replacement, not a component of brewing. The sodium content in Kroger soy sauce runs among the highest of any brand, tested at over 1,000 milligrams per tablespoon. In independent taste testing, Kroger soy sauce was ranked last among major brands for flavor profile, with reviewers describing a pungent bitterness and lingering chemical aftertaste. That chemical taste is not your imagination. It is the residue of a process that was never designed to produce real flavor. Number 9. La Choy. La Choy has been in American pantries since 1922. The brand markets itself as delivering authentic Asian flavor and has been a fixture in American grocery stores for over a century. The ingredient list on a La Choy soy sauce bottle is 6 items long: water, salt, hydrolyzed soy protein, corn syrup, caramel color, potassium sorbate. That is the entire product. There are no fermented soybeans in La Choy soy sauce. There is no wheat. There is no koji. There is no fermentation of any kind. The product was never brewed. It was produced through acid hydrolysis, colored with caramel color to look like soy sauce, sweetened with corn syrup to taste closer to something fermented, and preserved with potassium sorbate. La Choy is owned by Conagra, the same corporation behind Banquet Pot Pies, Chef Boyardee, and Hunt's Tomatoes. Conagra has been on this channel before. The pattern is the same every time. Heritage brand name, industrial supply chain, ingredient panel that tells the real story if you know how to read it. Number 8. Great Value Soy Sauce. Walmart's house brand soy sauce follows the same formula as La Choy, but with even less complexity. Hydrolyzed soy protein, caramel color, corn syrup, no fermentation, no traditionally brewed anything. Great Value Soy Sauce exists to hit the lowest possible price point in the category. At that price point, the real cost is not measured in dollars. It is measured in the acid hydrolysis process, and everything that process produces that is not on the label. Walmart generated over $700 billion in revenue last year. They know exactly what is in Great Value soy sauce. They know the difference between that and traditionally brewed. They made a decision. The price in the aisle is not the full price you pay. Number 7. Lee Kum Kee Premium Soy Sauce. Lee Kum Kee is one of the most recognized Asian sauce brands in the world. Founded in China in 1888. Over a century of brand heritage, the premium designation on the label implies a step above the mass market options. Lee Kum Kee was among the brands specifically named by the UK Food Standards Agency in its 2001 emergency alert for containing unacceptably high levels of 3-McPD. Lee Kum Kee disputed the finding at the time and stated that their products met safety standards. The FSA maintained its position. Australia and New Zealand removed the brand from shelves following the UK alert. The US took no action. Lee Kum Kee has reformulated certain products since 2001. But the brand that was named in a government emergency alert for cancer-causing chemicals deserves to be on this list, because the American consumer, who was never told about that alert, is still buying it today, based on a century of brand heritage that predates the question anyone should be asking about the label. Number 6. Kikkoman Soy Sauce All-Purpose. Wait, Kikkoman. Yes. The most trusted soy sauce brand in America. The red cap. The naturally brewed label. The brand that has been in more American kitchens than any other soy sauce in history. I need to be precise here, because precision is what separates this channel from channels that just scare you without telling you the truth. Kikkoman's standard all-purpose soy sauce is genuinely naturally brewed. The fermentation is real. The process takes months. The 3-McPD concern does not apply to Kikkoman the way it applies to chemically produced brands. So why is Kikkoman on this list? Because of one specific issue that has nothing to do with the brewing process. Kikkoman soy sauce contains 920 milligrams of sodium per tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. The average American household uses 2 to 3 tablespoons per cooking session. That is between 1,840 and 2,760 milligrams of sodium in a single meal from soy sauce alone. The daily recommended limit for an adult is 2,300 milligrams. For a child, it is significantly lower. Kikkoman is real soy sauce. It is also one of the highest sodium condiments in the American pantry. And it is used with a heavy hand in households that consider it the healthy option compared to the alternatives. The brewing is honest. The sodium load is not a conversation anyone at Kikkoman is leading with. Number 5. Wan Jia Shan Organic Soy Sauce. Wan Jia Shan markets itself as organic and premium. The organic certification covers the soybeans. It does not cover the sodium content, which runs comparably high to conventional soy sauces. But the specific concern with Wan Jia Shan is the gap between its premium organic marketing and its availability in American grocery stores, with no published testing data for 3-MACB. A brand that charges a premium for organic positioning and does not publish independent testing results is asking you to trust a label that covers the sourcing but not the safety testing. The brand was included in the UKFSA's broader survey of Asian soy sauce products. For a premium-priced organic product, the transparency that should justify the premium is not visible on the label or on the company's public communications. Number 4. Aldi Soy Sauce. Aldi's private label soy sauce operates under the same model as every other Aldi house brand. Lowest viable cost, no disclosed supplier, no named processing facility. The ingredient panel contains hydrolyzed soy protein confirming chemical production rather than traditional fermentation. At Aldi's price point, the acid hydrolysis process is not just likely, it is essentially guaranteed. Real fermented soy sauce cannot be produced at the price Aldi's house brand sells for, because the months of fermentation required cannot be compressed into the margin. The 3-MACBD risk inherent in chemically produced soy sauce applies here, as it does to every brand on this list, using hydrolyzed soy protein. Aldi does not publish testing data. The label does not disclose the production method in plain language. The consumer reaches for it because it is cheap, and it says soy sauce on the front. Number 3. Dynasty Premium Soy Sauce. Dynasty is positioned as a premium Asian American sauce brand. The word premium is on the bottle. The product is widely distributed across American grocery chains. The ingredient panel tells a different story than the premium positioning. Hydrolyzed soy protein is present, caramel color is present, the acid hydrolysis process was used. The premium on the label is a price and positioning decision, not an ingredient decision. For a brand charging above the budget tier and using the same chemical production process as the budget brands, the gap between what the label implies and what the ingredient panel reveals is the specific kind of dishonesty this channel exists to expose. Number 2. Golden Mountain Seasoning Sauce. Golden Mountain was specifically named in the UK Food Standards Agency's 2001 emergency alert. It was among the brands whose products were ordered removed from shelves across Britain, Australia, and New Zealand because of unacceptably high levels of 3-MACPD and 1003 DCP. The levels found in certain Golden Mountain products during UK testing were among the highest recorded in the entire survey. Some samples tested at levels 2,000 times higher than the EU legal limit. 2,000 times. Golden Mountain disputed some of the FSA findings. The FSA maintained its position. The products were removed from shelves in 3 countries. American authorities took no action. Golden Mountain products are still available in Asian grocery stores across the United States. The person buying it today has never heard of the 2001 emergency alert. They were never told, the label has never been required to mention it. This is the moment, right here. Before I tell you which brand is number 1, and before I tell you the 3 that are actually safe, if there is someone in your life who uses soy sauce every week, a parent, a grandparent, someone who cooks with it for their children every single night, someone who has never once thought to question a bottle of soy sauce, send this video to them right now, before they reach for that bottle tonight. Hit the like button if you think they deserve to know what happened in Britain in 2001 and what is still on American shelves today, and subscribe because this is what this channel does. We find the things that were never put on the label and we put them in front of you before your next grocery run. Also, before we get to number 1, everything we have covered on this channel, the bread, the chicken, the olive oil, the cereal, the soap, and everything in this video, is now inside the Product Exposed Shopping Guide 2026. Every brand to avoid, every safe swap, every physical test you can do in the store in under 10 seconds. The link is in the description. If you are tired of standing in the grocery aisle, not knowing what to trust, that guide is what you take with you every time you shop. Number 1. Pearl River Bridge Superior Light Soy Sauce. Pearl River Bridge is one of the most purchased Asian soy sauce brands in America outside of Kikkoman. It is in Asian grocery stores nationwide. It is trusted. It has genuine heritage. Pearl River Bridge was among the brands named in the UK Food Standards Agency's 2001 emergency alert for containing levels of 3-McPeed that exceeded EU safe limits. Pearl River Bridge disputed the findings at the time. The FSA maintained its position. Australia and New Zealand removed the product from shelves. The United States took no action. Pearl River Bridge products remained on American shelves through the entire period of international concern and continue to be sold today. Since 2001, Pearl River Bridge has stated that they have taken steps to reduce 3-McPeed levels in their products. There is no publicly available independent third-party testing data on current Pearl River Bridge products sold in the American market that verifies this claim. A brand that was named in a government emergency alert for cancer-causing chemicals, that watched 3 countries remove it from shelves, and that has not published independent current testing results for the American market, is the most important brand on this list, because it is the one most people would never question. It looks legitimate. It has heritage. It sits on the shelves of every Asian grocery store in America, and the person buying it today has no way of knowing any of this from the label. Now here are the 3 that are actually real soy sauce. Best option number 3. Sanjay Tamari gluten-free soy sauce. Sanjay has been producing tamari in Japan since 1804. Over 200 years of the same fermentation method. Tamari is a specific type of soy sauce, made with little to no wheat, which means it is naturally gluten-free, and the flavor is deeper and less sharp than conventional soy sauce. Sanjay Tamari is traditionally brewed using a natural fermentation process that takes months. No hydrolyzed soy protein, no caramel color, no corn syrup, no acid hydrolysis, no 3-McPeed risk from chemical production. The ingredient list is 4 items: water, soybeans, salt, alcohol as a preservative. Sanjay also publishes third-party certifications for their organic tamari line, including USDA Organic and Non-GMO Project Verified. The sodium is still present, as it is in all soy sauce, but the production method is clean. 200 years of the same process. No shortcuts. The flavor reflects it. Sanjay Tamari is available at Whole Foods, Target, and most natural grocery chains. Best option number 2. Coconut Secret Coconut Aminos. This one is different from every other option on this list because it is not soy sauce at all. Coconut Aminos is made from the fermented sap of coconut blossoms and sea salt. No soybeans, no wheat, no acid hydrolysis, no 3-McPeed risk, no gluten. The sodium content is approximately 270 milligrams per tablespoon. That is less than a third of the sodium in curcumin. For families cooking for children or for anyone managing sodium intake, Coconut Aminos is the single most significant upgrade available in this condiment category. The flavor is slightly sweeter and less sharp than soy sauce. It takes 1 meal to adjust. After that adjustment, most people prefer it. Coconut Secret is the most widely available Coconut Aminos brand in American grocery stores. Available at Whole Foods, Costco, Target, and online. For anyone who has been using soy sauce as a seasoning their whole life, this is the cleanest possible replacement, with a fraction of the sodium and none of the acid hydrolysis risk. Best option number 1. Yamaroku Tsuru Bisiho Soy Sauce. This is the real thing. Yamaroku is a small family brewery on the island of Shodo in Japan. They have been making soy sauce in the same location using the same wooden barrels called kyoke for over 150 years. The kyoke barrels are so important to the flavor of Yamaroku soy sauce that the brewery has started making their own barrels from scratch because the craft of wooden barrel making was dying out, and without barrels, the soy sauce cannot be made the traditional way. Yamaroku soy sauce ferments for 4 years. Not 4 months, 4 years. The same batch of soy sauce that a tourist visits the brewery to see in the barrel today will not be bottled and sold until 4 years from now. What develops over those 4 years in those wooden barrels is a flavor complexity that no chemical process can replicate. No hydrolyzed protein, no caramel color, no acid, no 3-McPeed, just soybeans, wheat, salt, water, and 4 years of time. Yamaroku is available online and at specialty Japanese grocery stores. It is expensive. A small bottle costs more than a large bottle of every brand on the avoid list. That cost is the 150 years of craft, the 4-year fermentation, and the wooden barrels that the family is hand-building to keep the tradition alive. When you taste it, you understand immediately what soy sauce was supposed to be. What your family has been using instead is something that borrowed the name and built an industry on the chemical shortcut. Yamaroku is the answer to that question. What does it actually taste like when it was made the right way? Here is the one test worth doing before you buy any soy sauce ever again. Pick up the bottle and look for 2 words on the ingredient list. Hydrolyzed soy protein. If those 2 words appear anywhere on the ingredient panel, you are holding a chemically produced soy sauce. The acid hydrolysis process was used. The fermentation never happened. Everything that is supposed to develop over months in a barrel was replaced by industrial acid and 3 days of processing. Put it back. Look for the words naturally brewed or traditionally brewed on the front. Then flip it over and confirm there is no hydrolyzed soy protein on the back. If both of those things are true, you are holding something closer to what soy sauce is supposed to be. It is a 10-second check. You can do it standing in the aisle right now. The bottle your family has been using every week. Go check it tonight. And share this video with everyone who has never thought to look. They are seasoning their food and feeding their children with something that 3 countries pulled off shelves in an emergency, and the United States never told them about.